So we had the multi-layered approach to fundraising, which is pretty much for high school. So basically, what is the multi-layered approach? It's where you use you can either have one big fundraiser such like a booster club, or what we define it as is using multiple different smaller fundraisers, and you would divide these between different teams, have them do different fundraising ideas throughout their different seasons. And then whatever each team raises for their particular fundraiser, they keep the money. They don't have to share it with any other sports team. Like I said, you can do big fundraisers such as the Booster Club. This is where whatever money they get, I know in my high school they split it between evenly between all the sports teams. They get money through like restaurants and other business partnerships. And then you can have alumni games. We had one the year after I graduated. I know it raised, my high school kept a couple grand of it, so I mean, that's good money for alumni games. And then selling of seasonal items, such as like if it's the holiday season, you sell like wreaths and stuff like that.
We had individual program ideas, such as like a football team at my high school would sell cards. They were called Cavalier cards, or at other schools they were called gold cards, which would give the customers or a discount or a coupon for the local restaurants around the area within the neighboring community of the high school. And they sold for about $20 a piece, something reasonable. And the another thing would be the selling of donuts around school, as Krispy Kreme did for our high school. They had fundraisers for your local organization, a club, whatever you wanted. They were easy because you buy each box of donuts, 12 donuts in each box for $5, and then you sell them for $10 for the box, and then you keep that profit. And then you do drive and donate programs. There was somebody that had a automobile company where he would sell cars or a dealership, and he would let people test drive a car for $10 and around the test track around his high school. So that was another idea that generated a lot of money for the school, a lot of money for that individual's dealership as well. And then this is another thing with the coupon booklet, is the local organizations around the communities such as Lake Springs. You have the Subway, you have the Wendy's. Down in Abingdon, you have the Taco Bell, etc. You talk to local businesses, restaurants, and you get them involved in it. That way it generates more business for them. Say you have a booster night where your team individually goes to that restaurant and hosts, like, come meet the football team, come meet the soccer team, come meet the basketball team at this location from 7 to 9, for example. And then the proceeds go to the club or the sports team. You know, you reach out to notable alumni that you know have done very well with their lives after going to your high school, or have sent a couple kids through the system that are very supportive of the program. And you reach out to the community as well.
Okay, and I just set up kind of a fundraising plan based on doing multiple fundraisers per year and how we would split it up by seasons. So you would kind of overload in the fall because at most high schools football makes the most money, gets the most attendance and revenue. So some examples, you can do a football parking fundraiser where you just have donations for parking. I know my high school makes a lot of money that way. Do like we did for the Dig Pink event, where you get t-shirts from a vendor and sell them for a little bit more. And then like we said about the Booster Club working, and then so what we did as a high school is parents from all different teams would work the Bristol race for the Booster Club, and then it would be split up evenly between the teams. Some good examples for the winter, you can have seasonal sales, like we sold Christmas wreaths, Christmas cookies, things like that. Just things that you know people are going to want around that time. For the spring, ideas we talked about earlier, like the discount cards, and then summer is always good for outdoor events, car washes, and things like that. And so just for where we're splitting it up, multiple fundraisers per year, a good way to split it up is seasonally and buy whatever teams are in season.
And another thing we didn't put on here that you could do is the 50/50 raffle tickets, and do them at every sport event. I know my high school did them at every sport event. And those, and you sell programs, just t-shirts outside the gate, whatever you can to make money. Because I mean, you don't have a big school, and maybe you don't have all the money that you can for each sport.
Any money brought in is good.
For our scholarly articles, mine, it talked about like the weighing the pros and cons to each fundraising idea with a multi-layered approach. So like, as our fundraising plan, we feel like the pros of the multi-layered approach would be that each team can keep their own money. That way, if football raised more than volleyball, for example, then you wouldn't have to share volleyball. And then if volleyball doesn't raise anything, they can turn to a booster club. So we feel like that's a big pro. And then the cons would be maybe since you have so many ideas going on at once that you can lose track, and it would just be like a little difficult to keep up with if you ain't good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and just that also certain teams do better than others. Like we talked about the booster club and splitting things evenly, but then things like the car wash and things like that, teams will do individually, and so you'll have some teams that aren't as interested in fundraising and don't get as much revenue, things like that. And then also just something for a school around here, if you have something like the fundraising cards, the discount cards, you're just going to want to check and make sure whatever businesses are on there keep up with the Washington County Wellness Policy, and just any, for whatever high school you're at, just the code, the policy there. And we should have some references of coaches we had talked to about fundraising before. That's it.